It's true. The left took my penis. It's literally laying over there on the floor. It's quite gross. No pun intended, but I don't really have the balls to pick it up yet. It's just horrifying. I thought maybe they would at least give me some Percocet, to help numb the pain. But nope. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Mr. Hunter Avallone here, back with another wonderful video. There's a lot going on in the world. Of course, we have a very large pandemic. We have Joe Biden doing some malarkey in Syria, mass unemployment, etc., etc. So what do you think the conservatives are really mad about right now? They're mad about Mr. Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head brand goes gender neutral, dropping Mr. title. So Hasbro announced Thursday that it would be dropping the Mr. title from the brand's name to better reflect the full line. It said that an upcoming playset will not feature Mr. and Mrs. designations, allowing kids to create their own potato families with 2 moms or 2 dads, a celebration of the many faces of families. Potato Head has provided creative possibilities to our preschoolers for almost 70 years and will continue to do so, Hasbro said. The possibilities to create your own families are endless, with mixing and mashing all the parts and pieces. So basically, Hasbro announced that they will be dropping the Mr. Potato Head just from the overall brand name, not the individual item. And they wrapped it up with this cute little thing about allowing kids to create their own potato families with 2 moms or 2 dads, which is fine. I know there will be some dumb conservatives that claim that's brainwashing, but some kids have 2 moms or 2 dads, and that's fine and normal. But this alone caused so much anguish. Conservatives were just furious at the woke cancel culture left once again striking with private companies changing their products that Hasbro literally had to clarify. They said, while it was announced today that Mr. Potato Head brand name and logo are dropping the Mr., I am proud to confirm that Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head aren't going anywhere and still remain Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. And you can see the picture right here. This is the new brand change that the conservatives were furious about. See up here? It used to say Mr. Potato Head, and now it's just called Potato Head because, the overall brand is a potato head. Look right here, conservatives, don't worry. Look right there, Mr. Potato Head. You still have your precious little gender. But the clarification didn't really matter because the conservatives saw something, they got mad, and at that point they didn't care anymore about the facts. This one dodo bird says, yesterday it was Mr. Potato Head, today it's Dr. Seuss. Book banning in our public schools has become all too common and terrifying. How is a brand name being changed? Book banning in public schools. What are you talking about, Bridget? There are only 2 genders, male and female. That's it. If you have an issue with that, just crack open a Bible. It's right there in black and white. Hashtag Mr. Potato Head. Literally nothing about the Mr. Potato Head controversy is even denying that there are 2 genders. They just dropped the Mr. from the overall brand name, David. Sure, there are 2 recognized genders in our society, but there doesn't have to be 2 genders. Like, that's not something that must exist. There are plenty of cultures that had more than 2 genders. It's just a non-issue. Male and female, those aren't genders, buddy. That's sex. That's it. If you have an issue with that, just crack open a Bible. I don't care what your 3,000-year-old book has to say. And what was even funnier is this guy went on to say that the reason he is Mr. Potato Head is because his name is Mr. and he has a mustache, which was kind of another self-own because it's like, wait, so are you now acknowledging that whether or not you call somebody a Mr. or a Mrs. is based on how they present themselves, aka gender, and not scientific, biological, prescribed, biblical sex? I just know that personally, I have too many real-world issues to care about rather than what a private company does with their logo. Like, this isn't even a progressive move. This is just them changing something because. But this didn't stop Beavis from jumping up at CPAC to blabber on about this issue.
Look out, Mr. Potato Head. You're next. I'm sorry. I think now he's going by Potato X. Can't be Mr. Potato. And see, to me, the whole concept of the Mr. Potato Head was
one joke.
You could move the parts around. I mean, Mr. Potato Head was America's first transgender doll, and even he got canceled.
First of all, can we stop with this attempt at the comedy shtick? The like trying to get the laughs? You're a creepy, corrupt, smug politician. Stop with the little comedy bit, okay? Second of all, Mr. Potato Head was not canceled. No, like nobody even pressured Hasbro into making that change. They just decided to make the change because it better fit the brand. And you conservatives are so furious about it, you are participating in cancel culture. You're contributing to this outrage cycle about a toy changing its brand name. I can't imagine being so privileged and pea-brained that this is the kind of shit anyone gives a fuck about. And also, Matt, you tried with your one joke with the trans doll, haha. Are you saying that they were transgender because, you know, you could take the potato head and then make the potato head have some girly eyes and lipstick or a mustache? Because then you're just, again, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Or are you suggesting that Mr. Potato Head at one point had a penis that you could detach and reattach? Let's take a look. Butt. I do admit that this kinda looks like a butt crack, but according to the woke mob, liberal left, cancel culture, that's gender neutral. I don't know, is he talking about this thing right here, that little thing? Is that... The woke liberal left wants us to believe that this doesn't have a gender. Classically Abby has weighed in with some really insightful classic knowledge. So I think, let's get our teacup out here. Give that a little dislike right there. Let's get our hat on. Surprisingly still fits over my headphones, so that's good. We are now feeling very classic, girls and guys, and anyone else. Abolish gender. So this video is the scoop. This is where she sits down with us to have a cup of coffee, tea, and just sip your little sip stuff and chat about the world and life and stuff. And so far she's yammered on about some holiday that no one cares about, and then she talks about the mail truck changing, and then she complains about Mr. Potato Head. So let's go.
Next up, let's talk about Hasbro. So Hasbro on Twitter announced that Mr. Potato Head was now going gender neutral, and he would now be known as Potato Head. Why?
Well, that's actually just the brand that's being changed overall. The actual items are still labeled as Mr. or Mrs. Potato Head.
Who needs that? I don't understand. We have a Mr. Potato Head, we have a Mrs. Potato Head. Now we just have Potato Head?
No. Nope, you still have a Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. It's just the overall brand, Hasbro's brand. Am I gonna have to say this again? Because I feel like I've already said this 5 times now.
And Mrs. Potato Head? Like, what's happening to Mrs. Potato Head? What happened to her? I think that the idea that we need to make a toy be politically correct.
It's not politically correct. It's just a brand changing their name to better reflect the product. I know they put in a little thing about how, like, families can look a lot of different ways, but again, that's just a factually true statement. So I don't know what you're whining about. Abby, I'll be honest, I'm not really enjoying our little coffee chats anymore.
It's so ridiculous and so virtue signaling that I can't take it seriously. I mean, honestly, he's a potato. The idea that we're trying to make a Mr. Potato Head doll into a gender neutral hero.
No one's trying to make Mr. Potato Head into a gender neutral hero. Have you noticed that conservatives very rarely can attack an argument head on? They almost always extrapolate from the main point into some broader straw man and then attack that. No one is saying that Mr. Potato Head is now a gender neutral hero. I will say that the virtue signaling statement isn't entirely incorrect, but that's what everything is. Anytime a brand changes their shit, and then they announce it in a way that, hey, we want it to be more inclusive. We want everyone to be able to create their own potato families. That's virtue signaling, but that's what it always is. Anytime a business does something like this, it's virtue signaling. But just if it's virtue signaling doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. I mean, classically, Abby, what you're doing right now, just posting a video whining about this, you're virtue signaling. You're signaling to your supposed virtue. I will say that down here, an LGBT advocacy organization praised the change, calling it part of a larger movement towards greater diversity and inclusion in toys and media aimed at kids. This kind of feeds the narrative that it was a virtue signal. It's the bare minimum. They didn't really do anything. They just updated their brand, they gave it a sleeker, newer look, and they got rid of the Mr. part. That's all. That's all they did. Acting like this is some big stride towards a larger movement, greater diversity. It's silly. That is silly. But overall, arguing that this is a virtue signal isn't an argument against it.
And I tweeted about this and I said, Hasbro has also announced that they're giving themselves a gender-neutral new name. Has. Because if you're going to take away Mr. Potato Head's gender, you might as well get rid of the word bro from your name. I also wanted to chat about going—
Oh wow, so snarky, classically Abby, ha ha ha.
And it was amazing. It was so classic. Honestly, it was one of the more classic things I've done lately.
Yeah?
And I'm very happy I got the opportunity to do it. I don't know if this is something that's available in a lot of different hotels, so definitely look it up and see if maybe in your area—
Wait, I don't think we're talking about Mr. Potato Head anymore, are we? What's a classic way of saying this? Hold on. Mademoiselle, would you kindly fuck off? Well, there you guys have it. A bunch of conservatives mad that a private company did something. What are you, triggered snowflakes, a bunch of commies? Seriously. Please give this video a like, comment below, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all soon. See you later, classic crew. Oh, sorry, I think that might be copyrighted from Classically Abby. Well, yeah, see you later, classic cocksuckers.